Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for another episode of Backstage Pass. I'm Jessie with our DJ Rocks, and I'm really excited because tonight I have DJ Kristin with me and one of her past couples, Ashley and John. Hi guys.
Hey.
I'm really excited to talk about Ashley and John's wedding. They got married at the Waldorf Astoria and they went all out on their wedding day. So we're going to hear all about it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. My first question is, how has marriage been treating you guys?
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, every day's an adventure. It's great.
Yeah.
You just celebrated your 1 year, right?
Oh yeah.
We did. So a little bit of backdrop is we actually got married December of 2018. Private thing just between us, just because we are middle school sweethearts. We've known each other since middle school, so we just couldn't wait. And then, but our parents knew, so that was okay. My mom would have lost it if she didn't know. But then our wedding date that had y'all with us was in March. So, and that was a year this year. So yeah, we did.
Oh yay! And marriage is good, smooth sailing.
Oh,
Absolutely.
It really is, and I have to. I'm not just because you're sitting here, but I have to say it's like our first year of us, just being together we went through so much. But our first year of marriage, we went through so much. And I honestly could say that I could not, I say it all the time, I couldn't live without John. And that's so serious. And it's not even just like the honeymoon phase. I've known him for 17 years. Like I could not live without him. He does so much for me. And I want to do things for him. And that's the best. I don't feel pressured or forced. Like he's my best friend. I tell him anything, everything before anyone else. So he's my whole world.
Stop. Oh my gosh. I can already tell you guys have something so special. Oh my goodness. It's the first question. And this happens every time Kristin joins us. Can I tell you? Every time. It's never not an emotional episode. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ashley and John, what was your biggest fear when it came to picking a DJ?
Oh my gosh.
Just want to make sure the music was good. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Want to make sure it was a good time.
Well, and I think having someone really capture who we are as a couple. I'm a musician myself, so having someone do music when I'm not in control of it, I want them to make sure they know who we are and I want to make sure that they can embody who we are as a couple and as individuals, because our music tastes are a little bit different.
Tell me about your music taste. What was the conflicting genres? Oh, she's making a face.
I'll let John go first with his music taste.
I'm kind of more of the club scene, like beats, all that stuff. Ashley's more of the country and
pop genre.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more like, I want to be able to hear the background in the music, the instruments playing, but I also need to connect lyrically. John's like, I don't care about the lyrics. I need to know. I want to feel that he's one of those. I'm like, I can't understand what they're saying at all. How do you enjoy this? So we have some similarities in certain music and people, but we're a little bit.
Yeah, the country's starting to rub off on me. Yeah. So
when I'm in the car, we play my stuff.
Yeah.
I can't handle his stuff.
Yeah. Cruising with Taylor Swift, all those fun people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's two totally different types of music styles, like 100%. Someone who listens to music for lyrics and someone who listens to music for beats, like that is polar opposites. And I know exactly what you're talking about because I totally listen to music for lyrics, like 100%.
I have to connect. And then the music, my brain is going a million miles a minute, so I can pick out different instruments, but I have to connect lyrically or it's just not going to work. And the lyrics that play over there, I'm like,
yeah, I'm still kind of like just.
She's like,
you're the teenager. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I can't even understand what they're saying or like, what accent is that? And he's like, you don't know that song? Like,
wait. Hold on, like John, like give me a song or give me like a title or like name one example.
I'm from like South Florida, so Vibes Cartel.
Okay.
And stuff like that. Stuff that has a lot of accents in it. She's
very colorful. Yes. Listen, I don't mind the accents. I really don't. And he actually has some like good songs. I'm not gonna lie. We bonded over like a while ago. This might be controversial, but we bonded over like a weird Tekashi song.
that was
ago.
back when he was
when he was okay.
Yeah.
And that was
After
like
him going to jail, we kind of just
we were like,
we
never want to mention him again, and we took him off all our playlists. But back when he was like cool and rising up, and actually had like we made fun of the song in a way that we enjoyed it, in a way it was just weird. And then so that was like, okay, I can get into it. And then
she listened to my music, and I listened to hers, and now we're listening to Taylor Swift in the car.
Oh my God, my girl T knows where it's at.
That, folks, that is marriage.
That's how it goes.
Exactly. Do as we say.
I love that. Okay, my next question is for Kristin. What was your first impression of Ashley and John?
Oh my God. Okay. Well, first of all, how about everyone type in there? This was my first impression. Like literally the cutest. I mean, swoon. If I remember where we actually met, it was actually at a wedding show. And I actually met Ashley's mom first. And Ashley's mom was like business, like, we're getting married here. This is the time. This is what she wants. How much is it? And I'm like, can we vibe first? I just want to vibe. And then I was like, so I said, can I at least meet your daughter? And so, she's like, well, she's over there and she's really busy right now. And I was like, okay. So I chatted with her a little bit more, and then, I don't know where Ashley was, but she came back over and I was like, oh my God, so cute. And then she explained that like Ashley was touring. She's not really in at that time. I don't know if you were in the country or not. But I was like, okay, mom's got the wedding plans. And then after that, we had set up a meeting for them to come into our office, and it was Ashley's mom and John. So I was like, dang, this girl's got her stuff together. Like,
you're too famous for all of us.
I know.
But yeah, but honestly, after I had met with John and Ashley's mom in the office, I was like, this is awesome. Like, I asked them about their story, and like, at that point I knew a little bit about, John just being in the family's life for a really long time. So I was like, wow, like I really want to be a part of this, because I knew that the family was so tight. And then I totally creeped Ashley on Instagram, and I was like, girl crush. But no, like I was starting to put the pieces of the story together. And I think for me, seeing that and the closeness, and me and John was like, I can count on one hand the amount of grooms that came to the office to actually meet. So I thought it was pretty special too. So I love that.
Groom points.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I will give him credit. Him and my mom planned 90% of the wedding. I think I chose the colors. I mean, I got some say in things, and I approved everything. But I mean, there were some hidden gems I had no idea about. It was great. He was great.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome.
The wedding planner is here.
We just want to make the best time for you, so we had to make sure it all went.
And you were happy with all his choices. Like, you met Kristin and you weren't like, ugh, like.
Well, no.
She went to the wedding show and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm at the best DJ ever. You have to come see. I was like,
oh, okay.
She's like, but there's free cake sometimes. I was like, count me in. So we go, and then we show up. First off, there's no cake. And then you weren't there either. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm getting gypped because you were actually at a wedding at that point.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah. So then we booked the office visit. Then you show us around your studio, which is awesome. And you introduced us to your staff. And then, we hit it off really well.
Yeah, I am totally thrilled with everything that he chose. And my mom, she knows my taste very, very well. I'm very like extravagant and big and plugging myself in the morning. That's my personality. It's like, good morning, here I am. My mom knew that's what my wedding had to envision. But John, I mean, that's where we're really similar, is we have the same style preferences. In some aspects, we're both very bougie and glitz and glam. So John, I trusted him to make good, and he's really great about communication. So he definitely made sure everything was good on my end too. That was okay with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. So did you guys talk to any other DJ companies before picking us, or what was the deciding factor?
I did. I went to a wedding show. I can't even tell you what the name of what they were, and that's honest on everything. I just remember going up and telling them, like, okay, so we're already booked with the Waldorf. Here's where we are, and then we are planning on doing a we had their biggest package. I'll never forget this. This woman came up and she goes, "We should already have a DJ built in with the Waldorf. They provide that." And she goes, so we're good. And she walked away. And so I said, I wouldn't be here looking for a DJ if we were good. I was so put off just by her being like, oh, well, March 2nd is super, super busy. Sorry. And like, I'm just too booked. And I was just thinking to myself, like, not to toot myself on that, but I have one of the biggest weddings. Why are you being like that? So I want to work with you. And so we did not vibe. Long story short, we didn't vibe. Yeah. But you got a vibe.
You got a vibe. Like
good.
Like that. Rule one of hiring any wedding vendor ever, you got a vibe.
Oh yeah. Rule one for everything, but especially for your wedding, you got to vibe with the people that you are working with, because if you don't, you're not going to be.
I should like hang that on my wall. Like that should be a rule for like just all relationships ever.
Yeah,
you got a vibe.
We must vibe.
Absolutely.
I would hang it up in my house. We must vibe.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, so you already mentioned there was a few surprises, but was there anything that Kristin did to surprise you guys?
Oh my gosh, our music. I think there was a lot of songs that, you make it the process so easy just to fill out for them. And I loved that. And the drop down list, I think I gave you like a 200, 300 songs for you to choose from that you would think would mesh the best. Yeah, I'm not a DJ, but I just think that in the way that you really got the show on the ball. Like, what I really loved the most was during the wedding, it was like, okay, and now this is going to happen. Now you really pulled it all together. And then I will also never forget, the party was jamming. You got everybody out on the floor.
Yeah.
Everyone was dancing. And that was our biggest thing, where people don't dance. I mean, it's a lot of like my parents' people there, like they're not going to dance. Everyone was dancing. It was incredible. And then I'll never forget, you came up to me and it's like, we're 10 minutes away from having to go do the final walk. And you're like, okay. And now we're done. So we have to go out here. And I'm like, we're done with what? And you're like, it's almost over. Like, it just started for me. Are you serious? So it was so great that I was enjoying myself so much that I just never wanted it to stop. The music never stopped. And our guests still say that our music was, it never stopped. It was so.
From because we had people there that were like 60 plus to people that were our age 20.
In our age group,
everybody was having a great time.
Everyone, I mean,
because you go to some weddings and you're just like, ooh, this is very interesting.
We didn't vibe.
Music, yeah.
Some weddings we did not vibe with musically, and ours we vibed with.
Very well, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's how it should be. Kristin, my next question is for you. What was your favorite part of their wedding day?
Ooh, okay. So I'm going to answer that question two ways. So I'm going to answer it first. After I got their wedding pictures back from Rhodes Studio, because he shared the album. And just to recap to everybody, I was just there for the party and the reception. And I forget what you guys had for ceremony music, but I saw their ceremony pictures for the first time once I got the album. And even though I wasn't there in that moment, I think one of my favorite parts was that Ashley got the what's it called? The carriage.
The first
ceremony. And I know how your dad and your mom and I speak of you, and I know your relationship, and I know that I might tear up, but I just know that, for him, that was probably one of the most proudest moments of his entire life, because I know that in his mind, he thought of you as his princess. And so to me, that captured all of that. So that was one of my favorites when I saw the album. Obviously the dancing on the cloud, but something that I really had nothing to do with except hand a microphone over to Ashley was at one point, and I don't even think this was scripted. It was not in the timeline. I think Ashley, at one point you were like, I want to say something right before dinner. And you took the microphone, and the words that you spoke were so beautiful. And you explained to that entire room why you chose every single person to be there. And I have chills thinking about it, because it brought even more of that story together. And you were like, you pointed out your teacher from, what was it? Middle school, I think, your middle school teacher, and your middle school friends. And you really were very intentional. Even if you weren't the one planning it, it was very obvious that you were intentional about why you did every single tiny thing that you did. And I think that is what a wedding celebration should be defined as. And so I think for me, that speech alone, hands down, was one of my favorite moments.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you.
That's really nice.
It looks like we have some family in the comments saying we love Kristin and our DJ Rock and Nicholas Collins.
We love him too.
Guys.
So that's exciting. Okay, Ashley and John, what was the most vivid memory from your wedding day?
Oh, everything. Oh my gosh.
I do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Saying I do.
John's vows. John is a sensitive person, but he's very strong. Sometimes like he's very manly.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
But his vows, it was so interesting to me because we both said, I said in my vows, John was first. He said, my goal is to challenge you and to in like a good way. And so I wrote in my vows, without us seeing each other's vows, I wrote, you challenge me. And just the way our vows connected without even knowing it, I think it just not proved, but showed our audience and showed our guests that this is not just like we decided to wake up and get married. This was something that we have built for 17 years of friendship and just really exercise. So I think that was a defining moment. But then, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like our first dance, like that just makes me like explode. And we mentioned, Kristin mentioned this, the clouds and dancing on the cloud, that I was not aware. It was just the greatest thing. Our music, I think our whole wedding day, it was my parents and John, and they really pulled through for this girl because it was magical.
Yeah, her parents wanted a lot of stuff, the horse and carriage, the dancing on the clouds. There were a lot of extras that were incredible. Yeah,
that we didn't, that I definitely didn't know about, and that was it was walking. I told my mom, I don't want to be a guest at my own wedding. I want to know what you're doing, and she goes, I can't tell you because you're gonna walk in, and it would be as your mom. I want to see that look on your face because I have the right to do that. I'm your mom.
Yeah.
And so, and
it's funny because Ashley was like, "This is what I want," writing a checklist for us, and her mom's like,
"No."
And we're gonna add a couple more things in there. That's not enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like
awesome.
I knew what to expect, and then there were certain things I didn't know what to expect, and there were certain things that I, now having gotten it, could not have lived without. My mom, she really killed it. She did a good job.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Kristin, what's your most vivid memory from their wedding day?
So definitely everything I already talked about, but I think, for me, I love first and foremost, I mean, obviously we know that it's not like you sign a contract and you're like best friends with the DJ, you know what I mean? That relationship has to be built over time, right? And it's not like I'm like the sister. So like, I don't have a flower, like I'm really not special. You know what I mean? But I think for me, once we got to a certain point in the night, I was like, when Ashley changed her dress and did the dress change, I was like, okay, that's the symbol that she can relax and she can cut loose. And
exactly.
and talk about songs of the night. I mean, I think it was maybe Juvenile, Back It Up. I was like, yes, girl, get it, girl. And then the energy that was going on, I went I was kind of over there, and I was like, I was getting into it with her, and I was like, yes, Ashley.
Yeah, you're on the dance floor.
I couldn't help myself because whatever. And I don't know. I think you looked at me, wrapped your arms around me. You're like, can we be best friends after this?
I was like 2 margaritas in. I'm like, and I know food. I'm like, let's do that.
You're like, I like your vibes.
I like your vibes. We vibe.
That's amazing. Ashley and John, what was your favorite musical moment of the night?
Our first dance. Yeah.
That's mine. Yeah.
What did you dance to? What was your first dance?
I Don't Dance by Lee Brice. And, John and I struggled with what our first song was going to be. And I just remember being at the time at work, and someone was playing it, and I thought, that's like Lee Brice's John. Oh my gosh. So I sent him, and we have gone through dozens of firsts, and I said John is very sensitive, and he says yes to me, but he's also very picky. So coming up with a first dance was a little challenging.
Well, because we have our different genre of music.
Right. And so I sent him this song and he immediately was like, hearted it on the text message. And he's like, I love this. I love it. Yeah. And I just remember sitting in my mom and dad's living room and playing all of the songs that we chose for everybody but our first dance. And still to this moment, I hear it on the radio or I feel sentimental in the car and I play it and I bawl my eyes out like a little girl.
She's texting me, I'm listening to our wedding song. I'm like,
help me. I love this song. I love it.
I love that. I think there's totally a moment when like you hear a song. That happened to me and my husband. We had a song picked out and then a song came on in an episode we were watching and we looked at each other. We were like, we have to change it. We have to change it to this song. There's like a moment.
Yeah, like this.
So if you're planning your wedding, wait for the moment. It'll happen. It'll click.
For everything. It's like your wedding dress. My mom said, that's the hardest thing that you'll ever do. I said, no way. Will be the easiest decision because I'm the type of person I know when I know. It was the third or fourth dress I tried on. And I'm like, I'm going to marry my best friend in this dress. Like I cry. Obviously, when it comes to John, I cry happy tears. But if you know. And that song, I heard it. You know. And it was just still to this day, I would never choose anything different. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was good.
Aww. Okay, Kristin, what song choices from their wedding day stand out to you in your mind? Like when you think of Ashley and John, what songs do you think of?
So many.
It's either going to be something sweet or something you broke it down to on the dance floor.
Yeah, it's like that very special moment, and really like that I don't dance, right? And I love that because it's so funny. And if you guys look up that song online, the lyrics of it are talking about basically a guy being in love, but he just doesn't dance, but he wants to be in that moment with her, right? And so it was so perfect because like she was in her dress, you had the cloud. Even his tuxedo, I don't know what you call, John, what do you call it when like the back has like the
tails?
Yeah, tails. Yeah, the
tails. So it was very, very,
it's a fairy tale.
Very fairy tale black tie. And then you've got this song that's, I don't dance, but here I am dancing with you. It was the most, and then of course, back it up. I'm trying to be very, PG, but for those of you who don't know, and you really should go listen, Ashley is an artist and she makes her own music. And so we fused some of her own personal songs into the night as well. And so for me, that was really awesome because obviously that came from start to finish and right out of her gorgeous voice. And so to play those at her wedding, I think was very, very, very special to me.
It's special to me too. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't even know that happened. That's so cool.
Yeah. Ashley J Music, I think, right? On Spotify?
Ashley J Music. Ashley J _music for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, but Ashley J Music. If you just Google Ashley J, I pop right up, which is
yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, Ashley and John, what advice would you give to someone who is planning their wedding and thinking about booking with our DJ Rocks?
Hands down, do it.
Do it. Like,
go with anybody else, we're done.
And I'm not even just joking because y'all. Well, first, our word of the day is vibes. So you have the vibe.
Yeah.
But
1000%.
it was a no-brainer. I had spoken to a lot of people, and I'm, my mom. And you said this story about my mom, just like. But she knows when you know, and I know when I know. And even if you're an indecisive person, do your homework, sure, but you will find that there is not a better choice. You really encaptured who we are as a couple, and I think that is so important, especially for the music at your wedding, because you want people to have familiarity with your guests. Like, oh, I know this song, okay, I can back it up too. I'm like, but you want to know the couple too, and really had both of our styles that embodied it, and then had some just spectacular bangers that we both loved and shared, and that it was just crowd pleaser. Every single person on the dance floor, even people that like don't even walk usually or don't walk straight, were dancing. Like they enjoyed themselves. It was that's a huge comment that our guests will still say, is that our guests, everyone was on the dance floor.
And
everybody
also,
danced.
I want to add the fact that you guys go over and above, because you give us an option of 200 songs to choose from, and we can put in whatever we want as well. But then you'd hear a song like here and there that we didn't choose, and you're like, oh man, that goes so well with what we're picking. And, just because you guys sat down, talked to us, and, you know, understood like who we are as individuals. And you're like, you know what, this is a song he's probably gonna like, let's put it in there. It's a song she's gonna like, let's put it in there.
It was a vibe.
It was a vibe. Yeah.
It was a total vibe. It was a whole mood. It was a whole mood.
It was a mood.
Yeah.
Everyone was in the mood.
Exactly.
They were dancing. Everybody danced.
Yeah.
My mom, she doesn't dance. I think that would be a favorite moment for me too, is dancing with both my parents. That was super special to me. And I actually had never seen a bride dance with her mom. And that was something that was super adamant about. And, you know, Kristin definitely made sure that that moment happened. We had so many dances. It felt like such a long dance and speech part, but my dancing with my dad, obviously I already knew what to expect. Bawls, like tears, bawling my eyes out. My mom, that was a whole different emotion that I knew I expected because I planned it, but having gone through with it,
Yeah.
I mean,
Being
the lighting, y'all did the lighting for us, and it was just like, oh my God, wow. It was so good.
I still drool over all of that.
In case anybody wants to see their wedding photos, some of their wedding photos are in our Instagram story now, and later we'll put them on the blog. But yeah, I just drools. It's a whole mood. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It was a vibe. I can definitely say we were one of those couples that if anything went wrong, we found out later, like we had wedding crashers. We had no idea. Our team, you guys included, really took care of every single thing that we possibly could have imagined. It was nothing. I wouldn't have changed a single thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Okay, so my last question for Ashley and John. You guys went all out on your wedding day, and in fact, I didn't even realize that some of these elements you didn't really know about, but I mean, your package included a photo booth, uplights with party mode, dancing on a cloud, custom monogram. You had a subwoofer, all the upgrades.
Well, because John wanted to feel the bass.
I was wondering, I was like, what did they need a subwoofer for? But
why do you not need a subwoofer?
For real.
I mean, y'all were feeling it. So yes. I want to know, what did you guys think of everything? I want to hear, especially about the moment when you walked in and saw the cloud happening. And what made you add those features? Give us a review.
Actually, if I can cut in for the cloud, when I walked in, when we all did the bridal party walks
now
in.
Introducing.
Yeah. We didn't do a cloud. It was normal. It was us. I didn't know the cloud was going to happen. And we're on the dance floor doing our first dance. And it came to the part of the song where oh my God, it makes me cry when I think about it. Sorry. The part where the very first chorus where he says, here I am spinning you around in circles, is when all of a sudden this fog appeared. And I just remember looking down and being like, oh my gosh, this is so, I'm crying, sorry. This is so dreamy. It really took my breath away. Even thinking about it, it just makes me take my breath away. It was so.
And 100% of the credit goes to her mom, because the Waldorf was like, we're not sure if we're going to allow this for fire regulations and all that. She's like, we're having this. You're putting it in. This is a requirement. And they're like, okay. Yes. That was one of the extras that were on the checklist.
Yes. And my mom's like, I don't care what the cleanup fee is. It is what it is. We're having it. This is her telling me this after this whole thing happened. And it was spectacular. And then, like I mentioned, the mood lighting. I mean, the lighting for our first dance, it was so dreamy. And then, I only can speak for myself with my dances and with you, and I didn't dance with your parents, but, you danced with your mom, and it was the lighting that happened with every song and the different vibes. I had Butterfly Kisses with my dad, and I had Matina McBride. She, In My Daughter's Eyes, was my dance with my mom. And I had never seen someone dance with their mom at their wedding before, and I stress it again because it was so special. But the lighting just, it went with the music. I can't even describe it. It was just, it captured. I've been in many music videos, and it was like being in a video and watching it at the same time. It was an out of body experience, and that I loved. Really awesome. The monogram. It was spectacular.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. What do you think of the photo booth?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So watching the videos when they came back and what everyone was saying, I mean, you definitely know who had a good time. And you definitely know who hit up the open bar, because that was the best.
Yeah, you see it in the photos, definitely.
And then John's wearing a sailor's hat, and those pictures, we actually have some of them framed around our home. It was so fun and funny, and I think an absolute must, just because it really is something different, because you go to a wedding and you're like, okay, you go in, you hear the speeches, you see the first dances, you eat, you dance, you go home, and you probably usually stop at Taco Bell on the way home.
Yeah.
For us, it was not like that. I'm not gonna lie, you know, you have to, but I mean, for us, it was just done so well on the photo booth with something different that you could go do at the wedding, where you could kind of sidestep and do something different and then get back out and be like, look at my photos. And I just remember having so many photos with my parents' friends, with John's fam. It was really a total must. It was
like
a great
when you go to
perk.
one wedding, you've been to them all almost, but with the photo booth and some of the extras that were there, it's like, it's different. It spices it up.
Yeah.
And that was a great option that you guys offered.
A parting gift that people made, you know, that I made this, but they didn't, but they did, and they go home with it, and it was a great touch.
It's not like a bad like drunk selfie. We're like, oh, it's
it was
good.
It was so good, and just watching it after the wedding, you just relive those moments and moments that you didn't know that happened, and then like people tell you how they really feel, and you're like, I didn't know you loved me that much. Like it was so great. It was so great. 10 out of 10 would do it again.
Oh my gosh, you guys are the best. You're like a little walking billboard right now. I love it. We're photo booth.
So brutally honest. I mean, we would tell you if we didn't like it, and that was. I think if you need something I would do it just to do it. But if you need something to spice up or you want something different, the photo booth is really great. It's very fun, very classy. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I'm so glad you had fun. Okay, my last question is for Kristin. A lot goes on behind the scenes on a wedding day. Do you have any fun stories about their wedding that the couple might not know about?
Oh, no. And why didn't you tell us earlier?
I know, right? So
there might not be any.
Yeah, I thought about this beforehand, and usually there is something like way left field that's behind the scenes that happens. There really wasn't, and I don't know if that was an omen. So leading up to everything was perfect. We even during sound check and photo booth test and lighting check, everything went perfect. Like I kept waiting all night for like something, you know what I mean? And Linda, Ashley's mom, came in the room because she wanted to do a room reveal to do the lighting check, because her and I had talked about like, you know, Ashley's vision and what color that might represent. So I kind of customized their color for them based on what she told me. And when she walked in, she's like, oh my God, it's perfect. And I'm like, okay, thank God. Next step. You know what I mean? And then, you know, the only other moment I can think of after that is that I remember Ashley's dad coming to me like 5 seconds before the doors were about to open, and he had a particular song request. And I think that it was one of Ashley's songs, but Ashley had already requested like other songs. So I'm like, okay, let me add one more. I just thought that was really sweet of him, because obviously every piece of this, I mean, everybody who's watching already knows this, everything was very thought through. And so that was really my first interaction with Dad, and that he wanted to customize that. So I really loved that piece of it too. But there really, honestly, and I'll be honest, there wasn't anything crazy, you know, which is
awesome.
Freaking-tastic.
Yeah, it's a good day for everybody.
Yeah, I was ready. I'm like, oh, go down, spill the tea. I am ready to know who I need to contact after this video.
And it wasn't. There's usually something, you know what I mean? Whether it's like equipment that you got to replace, or like some drama in the hallway, or like something with vendors. I mean, everything was just, it was smooth. Everything was so smooth. And I'm glad to hear, you know, you guys, you know, have positive affirmations to say too, because once the end of the night wraps up and I'm like, yes, and like, you know, I share with the team how great my weddings were, and then, you know, we don't get to talk through email, so it's always nice to like, you know, hear, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. You say nothing happened. I mean, it definitely, that overspilled into the wedding because we didn't feel anything. I mean, it was, and I don't mean just because we had drinks, we did not. There was nothing that stressed us out. The wedding day was, I would say, the least stressful day out of the entire process. It was so calm. I mean, we care about everybody. We care about each other. So I think the only thing that may have questioned our mind was, how are you doing? And we were good. We were like, we rolled with it, and nothing happened on the wedding day. That was catastrophe. We found out we had wedding crashers after the wedding.
Next day,
I didn't know that. Wait, where were they?
So apparently at the Waldorf, in our ballroom, we had the largest ballroom, and there was one, they were having like a small conference in like a ballroom down the hall. And the Waldorf is super spaced out. So you have to walk a minute to get to each ballroom. And apparently it was formal wear that they had to wear. So they looked like they could have been a part of our wedding. But let me tell you that the staff and the bartenders were so great at the Waldorf because they recognize faces, and they're like, oh, and they know the questions. Like, who are you here for? Oh, what's the bride's name again? Or what's the groom's name again? And so at the end of the day, apparently our wedding planner mentioned to us that we had over 20 wedding crashers who just tried to come in. One guy came in like shorts and flip-flop. Our wedding attire was black tie only. So he knew that was not the way to go. So, I mean, we had 20, up to 20 wedding crashers. It was it was crazy, intense.
They could hear
down the hallway.
They could hear the most amazing party happening, and they were like, I need to be in the room where it happened.
We were backing it up. They wanted to be a part of it. I don't blame them. I would have probably crashed my own wedding. It was so cool.
I mean, I'm sad I wasn't there at this point. I mean, even the people in the comments, we've got some of our future couples being like, I'm crying and I don't even know y'all. So
that's so nice. Oh, that's so nice. Well, listen, you picked a great DJ group. Let me tell you,
yes, and
you are prepared.
Carrie's gonna dance on her cloud on October 10th. So
oh yeah, and if that's not our thing besides the photo booth. If you don't have the cloud, you will regret it. I guarantee it. And that is one of those moments where, you say you don't miss things you don't know. You will miss it because now you know about it. You will miss it if you don't do it. So find the budget because we
definitely have to post like that magical picture, like just that picture, nothing else.
Yeah. And pro tip, grooms, like definitely surprise your bride with a cloud. Wow.
I know.
I have to go yell at my husband, I think, after this. But
sorry, bro.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us and for trusting us with your wedding and being amazing. We're so glad we got this chance to reconnect with you guys, and we're so grateful for couples like you. Any last thoughts, Kristin and Ashley and John? Good.
Honestly, thank you. We still live on cloud 9. We still dance through our cloud, and honestly, we if there's one thing that we have walked away with and that our guests walked away with is that our music never stopped and everyone hit the dance floor. I can't stress it enough. Yeah. My dad being musically inclined and myself being a musician, that was a big takeaway. And your DJ is if that and your photos are probably the most important things about your wedding. Yeah. And obviously, you guys with RDJ Rocks was the best.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me be a part of your wedding and create these memories. I feel like you're going to remember this forever. And I'm going to keep following your journey because I love watching your relationship grow and building your family. And that's really special to me, too. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Join us next week for another episode of Backstage Pass, where DJ Stasia has one of her past couples with her. And don't forget to stay connected with us on Instagram at RDJ Rocks. And we will see you all soon. Have a good night.
Happy